Welcome. This video explains IELTS speaking part 1 in depth. In this part, the examiner asked short personal questions about familiar topics. Your goal is to sound natural, clear, and developed, not memorized. Core strategy. Answer with 1 or 2 points only, then explain each point briefly. Do not list many simple reasons. Depth beats quantity because it shows control of grammar, vocabulary, and coherence. To sound like band 7 or 8, use varied grammar and precise vocabulary naturally. For example, combine present simple with present perfect, and use linking phrases like especially, mainly, and as a result. In the next 20 slides, each common question includes a model answer. Notice the structure: one main point, one explanation, then a second point with a short explanation or personal example. Question 1. Where is your hometown? Sample answer: I'm from Alexandria, a coastal city in northern Egypt. I really like it because the sea makes the weather more comfortable, especially in summer. It is also culturally rich, so I can always find book fairs and local events on weekends. Question 2. Do you work or are you a student? Sample answer: I am currently a university student majoring in engineering. I enjoy it because the program is practical and pushes me to solve real problems. At the same time, it is demanding, so I have learned to manage my time very carefully. Question 3. What kind of accommodation do you live in? Sample answer: I live in a small apartment with my family near the city center. It is convenient because everything is close, including shops and public transport. Another thing I appreciate is the quiet neighborhood, which helps me focus when I study at night. Question 4. What do you do in your free time? Sample answer: in my free time, I usually go for a walk because it helps me clear my mind after studying. I also spend some time watching short documentaries, which improves both my general knowledge and my English listening. Question 5. What kind of music do you like? Sample answer: I mostly listen to acoustic and soft pop music because it helps me relax after a busy day. I prefer songs with meaningful lyrics, since I enjoy noticing how writers express emotions in a subtle way. Question 6. Do you enjoy reading? Sample answer: yes, I do, especially non-fiction books about psychology and productivity. One reason is that they give me practical ideas I can apply in daily life. I also read short novels occasionally because they improve my vocabulary in a more natural context. Question 7. What is your morning routine? Sample answer: I usually wake up around 6:30 and start with a short walk because it helps me feel focus. After that, I review my daily plan for 10 minutes so I can prioritize the most important tasks instead of rushing randomly. Question 8. How do you usually spend your weekends? Sample answer: I try to balance rest and productivity. On one hand, I meet friends for coffee to recharge socially. On the other hand, I reserve a few hours for preparation, which makes my weekdays less stressful. Question 9. Do you prefer a few close friends or many friends? Sample answer: I prefer a few close friends because deeper relationships are more reliable over time. We can discuss personal goals honestly, which is difficult in a very large social circle. I still enjoy meeting new people, but close friendships matter more to me. Question 10. Do you like cooking? Sample answer: Yes, I do, mainly because cooking at home is healthier and more economical than eating out every day. I also find it creative, since I can experiment with flavors and adjust recipes to my taste. Question 11. Do you do any exercise? Sample answer. I go to the gym 3 times a week because regular exercise keeps my energy level stable. It also helps me mentally, since training reduces stress and improves my concentration for study and work. Question 12. What is your preferred means of transport? Sample answer. I usually use the metro because it is fast and predictable during peak hours. I sometimes take ride-sharing at night, though, since it feels safer and more convenient when public transport is less frequent. Question 13. What kind of weather do you like? Sample answer. I prefer mild weather, especially spring, because it is comfortable for outdoor activities. I dislike extremely hot days since they make me less productive and I tend to stay indoors. Question 14. How important is technology in your life? Sample answer. Technology is essential for me because I use it for both study and communication every day. It saves a lot of time, especially when I need quick access to information. However, I try to set limits so it does not distract me too much. Question 15. Do you use social media often? Sample answer. I use social media in moderation, mainly to follow educational content and stay in touch with friends. I avoid spending too much time on it because endless scrolling can waste my focus and reduce my productivity. Question 16. Do you like traveling? Sample answer. Yes, I enjoy traveling because it exposes me to different cultures and ways of thinking. I also find it refreshing, as a short trip helps me return with more motivation and a clearer mindset. Question 17. What types of books do you prefer? Sample answer. I mostly prefer nonfiction because I can directly apply the ideas to my studies and routines. That said, I still read fiction from time to time, as it improves my imagination and helps me use more expressive language. Question 18. Do you enjoy shopping? Sample answer. I enjoy shopping when I have a clear purpose, such as buying clothes or electronics I actually need. I usually compare options online first, because it saves money and helps me make better decisions instead of buying impulsively. Question 19. Do you prefer watching films or TV series? Sample answer. I generally prefer films because they deliver a complete story in one sitting, which suits my schedule. However, I watch series occasionally when the plot is strong, since longer storytelling allows deeper character development. Question 20. What are your plans for the future? Sample answer. In the short term, I plan to improve my English score so I can apply for international postgraduate programs. In the long term, I want to work in a role that combines technology and education, because I am interested in practical projects with social impact. Final reminder, in part 1, quality is more important than quantity. Give 1 or 2 well-developed points, explain them naturally, and keep your grammar and vocabulary varied but accurate. If you practice this structure, your answers will sound confident and high-band.